California knows how to party. California knows how to party. And the city is early. And the city is good. And the city is Compton, keep it rockin'. We keep it rockin'. Come on, shake it, baby. Shake it, darling. Shake it, shake it. California knows how to party in the city. California. Now, I told y'all that we would revisit this, right? I told y'all that we was going to revisit this conversation after we got a little bit more data. I personally said that California's minimum wage hike was a political play and it actually was going to be a bad idea. It was going to be a bad idea. I said it a long time ago. But we're going to deep dive into it and we're going to spend a little bit of time, just a little bit of time, talking about California's $20+ minimum wage hike. I went to In-N-Out Burger while I was in California and I seen them workers back there and I was thinking to myself, every last one of y'all is making at least $20 an hour. Every last one of y'all are making at least $20 an hour to flip burgers. So if you working in the fast food industry, you can flip burgers for $20 an hour over in California at minimum. That's your starting rate. All right. And this is the result of it.
Welcome back. California getting yet another hard lesson in economics. The state implemented a $20 minimum wage for fast food workers in April. That was April of 2024. A little over 1 year later, it's estimated that the state has hemorrhaged, get this, 18,000 jobs. The complete opposite of the employment trends across the rest of the country. And I said this before COVID when they were advocating for $15 minimum wage, and then during COVID when wages did go up because we saw such massive inflation, that if the price of your Big Mac meal, and that's what an average person can buy for lunch, is $15, but they're making $15 an hour, then you sort of defeat the purpose of the higher wage. California took it to the next level, to the point where businesses then couldn't be competitive and they had to lay people off.
Now, let me give y'all a business lesson here, okay? When I went into In-N-Out, for example, and some people in the chat are saying, well, In-N-Out was always paying that amount of money, and that's dope. I think that that's awesome, right? I know that In-N-Out is moving their headquarters away from California down to Tennessee, and they are looking to expand outside of California. But in most of the areas in California, when you go to an In-N-Out, a burger is pumping. In-N-Out in Vegas, In-N-Out in California is cranking. Now, Anton, if it's cranking, how can't they afford to pay their employees $20 an hour? Well, they actually can. But here's the difference. They have to sell a lot of burgers and animal fries. And the animal fries is the things that get you. I don't really care about the burgers as much, but it's them animal fries. They put that little sauce on there, it'd be popping. Shout out to the animal fries at In-N-Out. All right. And here's the thing. You have to sell an egregious amount of them because they're not selling them for a crazy amount of money. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to sell a ton of them. You got to get it cheap, and you got to be able to sell so many in order for it to be a sustainable business model, because there are a lot of people working there. But here is the problem. There are other places outside of In-N-Out that are fast food joints that don't sell it, that don't have the brand cachet, that can't sell a ton of burgers. And they are the ones that are going to be suffering. And so what you basically seen is a lot of owner operators that could not justify the cost. And if they could not innovate fast enough, meaning that they had to have less workers to do just as much, if not more, right? That's why everywhere you go inside of California, even in the airport, what do they have? Kiosks. You got to order your food from the kiosks. If you go into a McDonald's, they got to have kiosks. Here, pay your stuff here. And so now they're instituting Flippy. And Flippy can fry the fries real quick and perfect every time, much better. Y'all want to know one of the reasons why AI is accelerating, why machines and machine learning is accelerating so fast, especially in different industries that could be upended, like the Amazons or even fast food? It's because they need to limit and minimize costs while increasing profits in order for them to stay sustainable. So they'll make the one-time capital investment that it would cost them in order to have an employee. And that fry machine is just going to keep on going, and it never stops, and it never stops. So now you only need a couple different people, right? One to just in case assist different people, but he's going to or she's going to do multiple different roles. And then the other person that's going to be the assistant that's going along with it. But basically what these businesses are doing are trying to figure out how they can innovate fast enough to where they don't need people, and then that allows for them to be able to run up a bag. That's basically what's going on. And California, for the businesses that can't innovate, if you drive down some of these streets that's not Rodeo Drive, you'll see there's a lot of businesses that are closing. Man, it's a lot of closed businesses in a lot of these places. Go down Figueroa, go down all of these different streets and stuff like that. There are a lot of places that are closing because they cannot afford to stay open. And people don't know that the food industry, everybody want to open up a restaurant. Everybody want to open up a business. Everybody want to do this. I will tell you that that is some of the thinnest margins that you'll ever see in your life, your entire life. And it's some of the most demanding people. I'm going to put you on the internet because you didn't serve me right and I'm mad at you or whatever, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And it's like, I feel you, but you didn't pay for your food, and now you want some free food, and you came in here with a fake credit card, and so we're not taking your card, and now you spazzing out, and now you want to act like my business is bad. No, you just was trying to finesse, and we don't want to give you the food at the price that you want to pay for it, which is $0. All right? It's one of the hardest, the most difficult. As a silent investor, the only way that I would 100% open up my own place at this point is if I just wanted a place to just hang out at, but I wasn't necessarily trying to do it as a sustainable business, that I just wanted to have a place to call my own and that me and my friends can hang out at. That's the only way I would do it. And I would have to own the land up under it because I wouldn't want to pay rent. That's the only way.
Yeah, I mean, you said in your intro, a hard lesson in economics. We knew what was going to happen, and yet they willfully went forward. This is a math problem. It's a math equation that can be easily solved before you put into place a really bad policy. Beyond having to lay people off, businesses leave and flee states that require higher minimum wages. We need to, remember, it's a minimum wage. It's not supposed to be a living wage, and I think those are the distinctions. We need to provide a pathway, training, opportunities to get people from those jobs into the next level where it is higher wages, not force the bottom up and force businesses to bear the brunt of it because they can't.
Yeah, and yesterday we talked about In-N-Out Burger not wanting to stay in California or its headquarters.
And, you know, you've seen so much business move to the south, to Texas. You've seen Florida take off, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. All of these states have lower costs of labor, and they're very popular with employers, and there's a good reason for it. I just see this trend continuing and not going away.
Well, the minimum wage crowd has this weird habit of always wanting to use like the stick of the minimum wage to bring people's pay up. And they always seem to be the least cognizant people that there are other ways to get that work done if you back a business into a corner. It's like we talk about AI every day. We talk about technology every day. They refuse to accept that if you price out businesses from their workers, businesses will hire technology. That's what happens. Like
And most of the time, a lot of those jobs, see, I'm going to say the uncomfortable part out loud. Most of those jobs, you ready for this? Were not supposed to be for people that's trying to make a livable wage. Most of those jobs, I'm not talking about the regional manager. I'm not talking about the manager of the store. I'm talking about you flipping fries and cleaning the bathroom thinking that you're supposed to be making $35 an hour. That was not for you. That was for the students, people just starting to get their job, people trying to get some job on the job training, all of that stuff. That was not supposed to be for your grown butt thinking that you are owed all of this money and that they supposed to make sure that you're taken care of. That's not what it was for. It was not supposed to be for you. I'm just being 100. I'm keeping it 100. I'm going to keep it real with you. That's not what the job was for. It was never supposed to be for you. So when you see these people running around saying that they deserve all of this money and they deserve all of this resources and stuff like that, it wasn't supposed to be with you. It wasn't supposed to be for you. And so when you see people protesting, it's like, what are you protesting for?
There may be some restaurant closures in California, but actually what they're doing is we see this everywhere. It's kiosks. So like what you've done with you can raise a minimum wage and put people out of work, or you can support pro-growth policies and give businesses an incentive that's sustainable to hire new workers and train them up. But the left loves coercion more than they love the outcome they're seeking, which is a better life for workers.
And let me tell you something, now that I have an opportunity. I get very annoyed at the kiosks because sometimes they don't work and you still need a human to fix them, but there's only one human and there's 50 kiosks or 50 self-checkouts. You still need a human being there. And this brings us back to the issue we were talking about AI with Charles Payne, what it can do for your business, how much more efficient it can make you, how it can get rid of jobs as well and save you money. But at the same time, you just cannot replace humans, even in the most simple ways.
You absolutely can't replace humans. You 100% can replace humans, and it is happening. And if people don't think that you're going to be able to replace humans, if you don't think that those kiosks are working and in operation 99% of the time, then you are wrong. You are 100% wrong. There's no way that 50 kiosks are not working. This is one of the reasons why Fox, they got to be called out for their stuff, because a lot of times they conflate or they change the argument to be something else, or they're extreme with their views or something like that. No, 50 kiosks are not down, and they are very much functional and operational, and they're easy to use, and they're going to continue to improve over time 100%. 100%. Actually, most people, if you actually listen to them, they've been using them for years overseas. Go over to Japan. Everything is a kiosk. Now, you may have a maintenance worker, but that's only one person. You don't need 1,000 people all at the same time. And people are going to continue to be replaced. So innovation, 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 and more importantly, shame on California and Gavin Newsom for not taking care of business, not being on top of things, and making it much more difficult for business owners to be able to thrive.